my life and how I want to get out on the highway. Well, in this case, it's actually a lake. Trying to tie that in with the song title. But the reason is because we got this beautiful lake behind the house, and I realized the other day, and I've realized several times, my wife and I aren't taking full advantage of the great outdoors in Florida. And I am forever seeing people on this little lake. They're boating, they're kayaking, they're having a great time. And I'm saying, why aren't we doing that? So I want to introduce you to Ken and Gator Dave from Westwall Boats. And if you can snuggle up a little closer to the microphone, perfect. Gator Dave, let's start with you. Hi.
How you doing?
And Ken, hello.
Hey, what's up?
Now, I bet I'm not at all uncommon. I bet you have people come in all the time and say, you know what, I used to love getting out in the great outdoors. I get busy. I need stress relief from my busy job. I need to get back out there and start enjoying things again.
That happens all too often. Everybody just neglects their personal life, and they just say they're too busy to do anything.
Yeah. Well, that's why I wanted to become acquainted with you. That's why we went and took some pictures the other day. I've got them up on my blog page today, wikx.com. And that's why I want everybody to know a little bit more about Westwall Boats, because I think you've got one of the better facilities in the area. You certainly carry the best line of kayaks in the area.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, we think so. We definitely think so.
Yes. I native kayaks and the boat SUP boards that we have, they're definitely the top of the line that you can get.
Yeah. Now, I see a wide variety, too, of styles, so you can accommodate, and really you do need to think about a little bit about what you want to do. Like we were talking about earlier, you might want to go out and do some photography, some nature photography, you might want to do some fishing, you might want, heaven forbid, use it for exercise. So choosing the correct kayak is sort of important, but you can also multitask, can't you?
Oh yes, without a doubt. There's a bunch of different things that determine the factors of what kind of kayak you got. A lot of people determine on their budget, other on what they're going to use it for.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if they're going to use it for touring, photographing, exercise, or fishing.
Right.
And at Westwall, we have boats to accommodate all of those needs. You know, we listen to the customer. We find out what you want. We don't try to sell you what we want you to have. You know, and that's an important thing with a kayak shop. You want to make sure that you get what you're going to be happy with.
And let me just clarify, every time you hear the word boat, think kayak here. That's just a kind of insider jargon.
Yeah, they're plastic boats, basically, you know.
But they are so cool nowadays, and they're so stable. Because I remember kayaking when I lived in the Gainesville, Ocala area. There was some nice waters up there, but they would tend to tip a little bit. You didn't want to bring the lunch on it. You know what I'm saying? They've really come a long way, haven't they?
Oh yeah, they've come out with a wider boat. It's more stable. They do intensive research on hull designs now. Everything's done on CAD programs. They're not they're not just made from somebody's vision now. Now they're actually done on CAD. Mm-hmm. Native Kayak sends boats out as prototypes to Pro Staff, which me and Ken are both part of the factory Pro Staff. Mm-hmm. And they send boats out and have us test them, and we'll run them for about 6 months, and then they get feedback from us on what needs to be changed on the designs to make them work a little better. You know?
Can tell everybody about how stable yours is.
Well, the nice thing about mine is I've got a Native Watercraft Ultimate 14.5, and I've had some other boats before that when I got in them, they were really kind of on the tippy side. Mm-hmm. And when I took the boat that I have now, which I just love that hull design, I stood up in it for the very first time that I was in that boat. And in other boats that I've had, I would have never done that. But with the Native, it has a patented tunnel hull that goes in inches of water that you can stand, and I can stand, and one of the things I like to do is I like to sight cast a fish. And I can do this in this boat, especially, you know, Charlotte Harbor is such a great area to fish. I mean, you can, you know, and the shop was named Westwall Boatworks because of the west wall of Charlotte Harbor.
Oh, so I wondered actually. I'm glad you clarified that.
That's where it got its name. And I've caught, you know, redfish, snook, trout. I mean, I just love that, and I can do that so well with this boat that I have. With the Ultimate, is just, they've named it right. The Ultimate is, to me, the ultimate boat for whether you fly fish or you know, bait caster or spin fish.
Glad you brought that up. Actually, let's talk fly fishing. Now, Westwall Boats has tons of seminars, lessons, all kinds of different things they do. It kind of provides some community outreach. But let's talk fly fishing. You've got the undisputed fly fishing expert in the area, right?
Harry Hall.
Harry Hall. And right now, somebody just went, oh, I know him.
Yeah, Captain Harry Hall. One of the best. He was teaching me. It's been a while since I actually picked up the fly rod, and Saturday he was showing me, basically going through the cast and showing me some different flies to use, because I like to beach snook fish on the you know, right on the beach, and with the fly rod, and Harry's one of the best. He's fished a lot of places free seminars. We've got a complete line of TFO fly rods, which are just great fly rods, and Harry's got a bunch of different kinds of flies at the shop that you can just go in and take a look at, and set something up. He'd be willing to help you with your fly casting and selection of flies and get you into fly fishing.
To be honest, I never have done fly fishing, but it seems like the real ultimate combination of there's challenge, but it's also relaxing.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
So
definitely, for sure.
Maybe that's something you want to try to get into. Like again, this whole conversation is about my desire, and I bet you anything I'm not alone. We live in paradise. Look at what parts of the country this time of year, January 30th. You talk about kayaking? Are you kidding me? This is beautiful, and we take it for granted the longer we live here. I've been in Florida for 30-something years, so I take it for granted. I'm sure I'm not alone.
When you consider we're having a cold front come in tomorrow,
Yeah.
and it's only going to be in the 60s, the
Yeah,
rest, of,
right.
the, rest of
That's
the country would be glad to get up to the 60s at about this time of year,
We chuckle all the time because we have people listening all over the country on iHeartRadio. And so we'll give the forecast out and I'll say it's a chilly 61, which for people in Florida, that's cold. People in the northern climates are laughing themselves silly. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, they'd be glad to get up to 60 right now.
And they'd love to come down and fly fish and kayak. And so let's take advantage of what we have here. And let's talk about these seminars and lessons. First of all, when I buy a kayak, I get lessons. Because I have been on a kayak before, but it's been a long, long time, 20 plus years. So I need a refresher.
And we'd get you on the kayak.
Uh-huh.
Make sure that you got all your safety equipment. You need to know what you need to be Coast Guard safe. They have a set of rules. You got to have your life jacket, your signaling device, and we make sure that you know what is the proper equipment that you got to have.
Okay.
And make sure that you're equipped with that.
All right.
The next thing would be to practice your entry and getting in and out of the kayak.
Oh, yeah.
Because, for a lot of people, that's the hardest part of kayaking, getting in without tipping the kayak over while you're doing it.
Right.
We'll get you working on that. Once you get to there, then we work on paddling technique. Get you out, teach you a comfortable way to paddle so you don't fatigue yourself. After that, you just start doing longer trips, and
that can be a real problem, too, for a lot of folks. They'll get out, and if you're not paddling, it seems like such an easy thing, paddling, right? But if you're not paddling correctly, you're going to fatigue yourself very quickly. And then you're going to say, oh, this is an unpleasant experience, but it shouldn't be that way if you're doing it right.
Right. You want to be efficient and effective.
Yeah.
So even down to the paddle size, a lot of people, they just go pick up a paddle because it's a cheap paddle.
Right.
Right. And same thing with a boat. The nice thing at Westwall Boatworks is we can set you up with an on-the-water demo. So if you like a boat, you can actually take it out and demo it instead of just buying it from a big box store or say you buy it from a friend and say, well, I can get it for cheap. You can actually go out, schedule a demo, get that boat fitted to what you want, and because it's an investment.
Sure.
It's an investment. So we want to make sure that we get you something that you will enjoy and that you love.
One final question for you, because I know my wife would want me to ask this. I'm trying to convince her that this is going to be a fun activity for us, and she's gung-ho for it, too. The lake behind our house used to be inhabited by 3 or 4 alligators who have since disappeared. She almost considered them pets of hers for whatever reason. Long-distance pets, mind you. Alligator repellent. In case we get out there, I know that's a silly question. In case we get out there and one of them pops up, I know she's going to freak.
They won't bother you.
I keep telling her that. We don't bother them, they won't bother us.
If the alligators come towards you and decide they want to hang out by you, that means somebody in your area is feeding them, and you need to call a nuisance removal company,
Right, exactly.
Typically in the wild, a alligator is not going to bother you.
Right. That's what I've been saying. She wanted to take out baked chicken and all. I said, don't you do that. That's the fastest way to get them hauled out of here.
Right.
She loves them.
Yeah, you don't want to. You're out there, you're enjoying yourself, and they're just part of nature. They really will not bother you if you're doing your things. One thing I wouldn't do is if I catch some fish, I would not leave that fish stringer in the water.
Oh, okay.
That's one thing. You don't want to kind of tempt them that, a little appetizer. So I would put it in a cooler or so. And with our boats, you can actually put coolers in the front or the bow of the boat.
Yeah.
And store your fish that way.
Works best for you.
Exactly. Whatever works best for you.
Almost every time I've seen people out there kayaking and boating, and if there is a gator out there, he's been sunning himself on the shore, nowhere even near the water. He doesn't care. That's the way I want to get her out there, take some pictures so she can really enjoy her baby, she calls them. Can you believe this? I can't believe I'm saying this.
Yeah, and if we don't always have scheduled demo days, but if you call 875-9630, you can talk to Steve or Greg. They will do private demos for you.
That's
there's
great.
no charge for it.
That's great.
They try to make it convenient for you because they know everybody can't be there on a certain day at a certain time.
Right.
You know, a lot of people have a work schedule where they got to do it after work. You know, they're open till 6 every day, from Monday through Saturday. So
Right.
if you need to do it after work, they're more than willing to take you down and put a boat in the water and let you try it out.
You must have anticipated my final question of the morning, which was phone number and where you're located. So let's start with, because the location, I want to make sure you're real clear about this, because you could drive past it really easily, couldn't you?
Yeah, they're centrally located between Port Charlotte and Northport, right on Tamiami Trail. It's 787.
787 Tamiami Trail.
It's just west of Toledo Blade on the west side of the street.
Okay.
Well, I got to figure this out because 41 actually runs east and west in that little section there. So
It's confusing.
Yeah,
You're going to go the Northport side
Yeah.
of 41 past Toledo Blade.
Yes.
And it's going to be, if you were heading towards Northport, on the left-hand side.
Yes.
Correct.
And you've got a big sign that says kayaks.
Yeah,
there's-
kayaks
it's
and paddleboards.
kayaks and paddleboard. It's a big white sign with
Yeah.
the red letters in the front of the shop, and you can't miss it there. And there's usually a boat, a kayak out on a trailer that you'll see in the front too.
Best thing to do is call, get directions. They'll make it easy for you. What's the phone number again?
875-9630.
875-9630. And all of this information is up on my blog page today, wikx.com, with the pictures I promised. Thank you guys for coming in this morning.
Oh,
I
you
really
can also
appreciate it.
check the website out, Westwall Boatworks.
Oh, okay.
Westwall Boats.
Westwall Boats, and you can look
Okay.
at, if you're on Facebook, you can Google Facebook at Westwall Boatworks, and we're on Facebook too.
Awesome. Thanks for coming in this morning, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.